Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know why you're here, right? To get smart fast, no time wasted. And today we're diving headfirst into something a lot of people are curious about, iron. But not just any iron. We're going way beyond beef this time.
That's
We've
right.
got this super interesting article. It's called 25 Foods That Offer Even More Iron Than Beef. And let me tell you, it's packed with surprises.
Oh,
I mean, some of these foods you wouldn't even think of as iron powerhouses, but they totally are. So whether you're, gearing up for a conversation about health, trying to make some tweaks to your diet, or maybe just, you've got that curiosity bug biting you,
yeah,
this deep dive is for you.
absolutely.
And what we're going to do is basically dissect this article, pull out the most, the coolest, the most unexpected, the most useful insights, and deliver them to you straight up, no BS.
I like it.
So let's jump right in, shall we? I mean, when we talk about iron, like leafy greens are kind of like the usual suspects, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Spinach is always the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. A half cup of cooked spinach gives you a solid 3 milligrams of iron.
It's a good start.
Yeah, but it's not just about the iron, right? You're getting this like whole nutritional package deal with spinach. Protein fiber, calcium, potassium folate, a whole bunch of vitamins A, C, and K. I mean, it's like a multivitamin in a leaf.
Exactly. It's a nutritional powerhouse.
Okay.
And it's so versatile. You can throw it in a salad, make a smoothie, add it to eggs. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
Oh, absolutely. And it's so easy to sneak it into things,
Yeah.
which is always a plus. Now, if you want to kick things up a notch in the leafy green department, there's Swiss chard.
Oh, yeah. Swiss chard is a good one.
One cooked cup of Swiss chard will give you 4 milligrams of iron, which is even more than spinach.
It is. And you get all those other great nutrients too. Protein, fiber, calcium, vitamins A and C.
Plus, Swiss chard is an excellent source of potassium, which is, fantastic for your heart.
Right. Heart health is so important. So Swiss chard is definitely a winner on multiple fronts.
All right, so we've covered leafy greens. What about another category that's like a staple for iron beans and legumes?
Oh, this is where things get really interesting. Beans and legumes are like the unsung heroes of the iron world, especially for those who are following plant-based diets.
I completely agree. Let's start with white beans. Just a half cup of those little guys gives you almost 3.5 milligrams of iron. Plus, you get a good amount of protein and fiber.
Yeah, they're super filling.
They are. And what's cool is you can get creative with them.
Yeah.
The article talks about blending them into mushroom risotto for a creamy texture or sauteing them with cherry tomatoes for a Mediterranean vibe.
Right, there's so much you can do with them beyond just the traditional side dishes. Now, red kidney beans, those pack a serious iron punch. We're talking 5 milligrams per cup, plus tons of fiber and plant-based protein.
Yeah, and there's even research suggesting that eating beans, chickpeas, or lentils regularly can help with weight management because they keep you feeling full and satisfied.
Which makes sense, they're so dense and hearty. Now, lentils, those are another iron superstar.
Yeah, I love lentils.
Me too. Just a half cup cooked gives you 3.3 milligrams of iron and about 8 grams of protein.
I'm always down for a good lentil and broccoli stew. It's so comforting and flavorful.
Plus, lentils are packed with polyphenol antioxidants. Those are the compounds that help protect against chronic diseases.
Oh yeah, they're like little disease fighters.
Exactly.
And then there's chickpeas, another powerhouse in the legume world.
Oh, chickpeas are amazing. You can do so much with them.
You can.
Roasted for a snack, thrown into salads, blended into hummus, or even desserts.
I know, it's crazy how versatile they are. And they're packed with iron. 2 half-cup servings give you about 5 milligrams, plus a good chunk of fiber.
Yeah, they're a great way to get your fiber in.
Okay, let's not forget, at MA, these little green soybeans pack a punch too. 2 half-cup servings get you 3.5 milligrams of iron and a whopping 18 grams of protein.
Plus, potassium, fiber, vitamin C, and A, it's like a nutritional all-star.
Seriously, edamame deserves more credit.
It really does.
Okay, so we've talked about leafy greens and beans and legumes. What about cereals and grains? Those are usually go-tos for iron too, right?
Absolutely. And this is where we see some really high numbers, especially when it comes to fortified cereals.
Oh yeah, some of those fortified cereals can pack a serious iron punch. The article says a 3/4 cup serving can have like 18 milligrams of iron. That's enough to meet a lot of women's daily needs right there.
It is, and it's convenient, especially for those busy mornings when you don't have a lot of time to cook.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered, how does the iron in fortified cereals compare to the iron we get from Whole Foods? Is it absorbed the same way?
That's a great question, and honestly, the answer is a little complex. While fortified cereals do offer a lot of iron, it's often in a form that's not as easily absorbed as the iron found naturally in other foods.
Ah, I see.
But that doesn't mean fortified cereals are bad or anything. They can still play a valuable role in boosting your iron intake, especially if you have higher needs or you're just looking for a convenient option. It's all about balance.
So what about grains that aren't fortified? Do they have any iron?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Take oats, for example. 100 grams of oats will give you almost 2.2 milligrams of iron, even without any fortification.
Wow, I didn't realize oats had that much iron.
Yeah, and they're great for your heart thanks to all that fiber.
Double win. Now what about white rice?
Surprisingly, white rice has a decent amount of iron too. A third of a cup gives you 3 milligrams.
Really? That's more than I would thought.
The key with white rice is to pair it with other iron-rich foods, like combine it with lentils or beans to create a meal that's really packed with iron.
Okay, that's a good strategy. Now quinoa, that's another grain that's become really popular lately.
Oh, quinoa is a nutritional rock star.
Tell me about it.
It gives you almost 3 milligrams of iron per cup, and get this, it's a complete protein.
Meaning?
It has all 9 essential amino acids that our bodies can't produce on their own.
Oh, wow. So it's a great option for vegetarians and vegans.
It is, and it's also a good source of other minerals like phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium. Plus, it has this really unique texture and a slightly nutty flavor.
I love that nutty flavor. All right, now here's one that surprised me. Enriched bagels.
Oh yeah, bagels can actually be a decent source of iron.
I know, right? A medium-sized enriched bagel, whether it's onion, sesame, poppy seed, or even raisin, will give you about 3.75 milligrams of iron.
And that's because of the enrichment process. When grains are refined, they lose some of their natural nutrients.
So they add them back in.
Exactly. They add back certain vitamins and minerals, including iron, to boost the nutritional value. So even something as simple as a bagel can contribute to your daily iron intake.
That's good to know. Now, what about grits? Those are a popular breakfast option in some parts of the country.
Grits are a great way to start your day with a boost of iron. A half cup of instant grits gives you a whopping 7.1 milligrams.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's right up there with some fortified cereals in terms of iron content.
So another easy and convenient option.
Exactly. And let's not forget pasta.
Oh yeah, pox is a classic.
1 cup of cooked enriched elbow noodles has 3.3 milligrams of iron.
So not a bad amount at all.
Not at all, especially if you pair it with a fiber-rich tomato paste-based sauce.
That sounds delicious.
It does, doesn't it? And finally, to round out our grain and cereal discussion, we have bran muffins.
Bran muffins often get a bad rap for being unhealthy, but it sounds like they're not all bad.
Right. A medium oat bran muffin can give you a solid 4.75 milligrams of iron, plus all that gut-boosting fiber.
So maybe not something to eat every day, but definitely not the worst choice either.
Exactly. Moderation is key.
Okay, let's move on to seafood, shall we?
Let's do it.
When it comes to iron, oysters are definitely the superstars.
Oh, yeah. Oysters are packed with iron. Just 4 large oysters will give you almost 8 milligrams.
That's insane.
It is. And they also provide a good amount of zinc, which is crucial for a healthy immune system.
So a double whammy of goodness.
Precisely. Now, moving on to nuts and seeds. Those can also be good sources of iron. Pumpkin seeds, for example, almost 3.7 milligrams per cup.
I love pumpkin seeds.
Me too. They're delicious, and they're packed with other nutrients too. Protein, healthy fats, magnesium, potassium.
So a great snack or topping for salads and yogurt.
Absolutely. And raw cashews, those are another good one. A 2-ounce serving gives you almost 3.8 milligrams of iron.
And the article mentions Brazil nuts and walnuts as having similar benefits.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
incorporating a variety of nuts into your diet can be a really smart move.
Now, for something, sweet, dried fruits can also contribute to your iron intake.
Yes, dried apricots are a good option.
How much iron are we talking about?
About 3.5 milligrams per cup. Plus, they're a great way to satisfy your sweet tooth without going overboard on sugar.
And then there's raisins, another classic dried fruit.
Raisins are great. They have about 3.7 milligrams of iron per cup. You can snack on them, add them to oatmeal, or even combine them with peanut butter and celery for a classic combo.
Okay, so we've covered leafy greens, beans and legumes, cereals and grains, seafood, nuts and seeds, dried fruits. What's next?
Let's talk about some other vegetables that can contribute to your iron intake. Like pears, for example.
Oh yeah, peas are good.
1 cup of cooked peas gives you about 2.5 milligrams of iron.
Not bad.
And they're also a good source of calcium and magnesium, which are important for bone health.
So good for your bones and your blood.
Exactly. And then there's the humble baked potato.
Baked potatoes have iron.
They do. A large baked potato with the skin on will give you just over 3 milligrams of iron. Plus, you get vitamin C and resistant starch, which is good for your gut.
So don't skip the skin.
Exactly. The skin is where a lot of the nutrients are.
And sweet potatoes, are those a good source of iron too?
They are a boiled cup. Without the skin will give you about 2.4 milligrams of iron. And sweet potatoes also contain vitamin C, which actually helps your body absorb iron more efficiently.
Oh, interesting. So it's all about how these nutrients work together.
Precisely.
Right.
Now let's talk about a couple of maybe unexpected sources of iron.
Ooh, I like surprises.
First up, dark chocolate.
Wait, really?
Yes, a 1-ounce serving of dark chocolate with a cocoa content of 70 to 85% has about 3.4 milligrams of iron.
So chocolate can actually be good for you.
In moderation, of course. Dark chocolate is rich in antioxidants, and it can have some heart-healthy benefits.
And the article says a typical serving of good quality dark chocolate doesn't have a ton of sugar.
Right. The example they give is 8 grams of sugar in a 12-piece serving.
Okay, that's not too bad. Now, what about tofu?
Tofu is another good source of iron, especially for those following a plant-based diet.
How much iron are we talking?
A 6-ounce serving of tofu has almost 3 milligrams of iron.
Oh, not the highest on the list, but still a decent amount.
Exactly. And tofu is also a great source of protein with over 18 grams per serving.
And it's so versatile, you can use it in pretty much anything.
Exactly. Stir fries, scrambles, soups, salads, you name it.
Wow, this has been a truly eye-opening deep dive. I had no idea there were so many delicious and diverse non-beef foods that are packed with iron.
It really goes to show that meeting your iron needs doesn't have to be restrictive or boring. There are so many options out there.
And the best part is, by incorporating these foods into your diet, you're not just getting iron, you're also getting a whole bunch of other essential nutrients.
Right. It's about taking a holistic approach to nutrition.
So as we wrap things up, here's a final thought for you. Think about your own dietary habits. What's one small change you could make to include more of these iron-rich, non-beef foods in your meals? Maybe try swapping out beef for lentils in your tacos once a week, or adding some spinach to your smoothies. Every little bit counts.
And remember, it's not just about adding these foods, it's also about learning how to prepare them in delicious and enjoyable ways. So maybe explore some new recipes or check out the nutritional profiles of some of these foods to get a better understanding of how they can fit into your overall diet.
That's great advice. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. The more you know about nutrition, the more empowered you are to make healthy choices.
All right, folks, that's it for today's deep dive into the world of iron-rich foods. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.